What kind of son starts a war against his own father, and ends up saving the entire world? The strange part is this: if Zeus had done nothing, the gods might never have existed. Most people know Zeus as the king of the Greek gods. The one throwing lightning bolts from the sky, sitting on Mount Olympus, and ruling over everyone else. But he wasn't born a king. He was born into one of the darkest families in all of mythology. Long before Zeus, there were the Titans. They were giant, powerful beings who ruled the universe before the Olympian gods ever appeared. Their king was Cronus. And Cronus had a terrifying secret. He knew exactly what it felt like to overthrow a father. Because he had already done it himself. Cronus's father was Uranus, the god of the sky. According to Greek myth, Uranus feared his own children so much that he trapped many of them deep inside the earth. Imagine being locked away simply because your father thought you might become stronger than him. Their mother, Gaia, couldn't take it anymore. She asked her children to fight back. Only one of them had the courage. Cronus. With a giant sickle made from hard stone, Cronus attacked Uranus and took his father's throne. Just like that, the old king was gone. Cronus became ruler of the universe. But something happened that would change everything. As Uranus fell, he made a prediction. One day, Cronus would lose his throne exactly the same way. His own child would overthrow him. That one sentence controlled the rest of Cronus's life. Fear had won. And fear would make him do something truly horrible. Cronus married his sister, Rhea. Soon, they started having children. Normally, this would be a happy moment. Not for Cronus. Every time Rhea gave birth, Cronus grabbed the newborn baby. And swallowed it whole. Not because he was hungry. Because he was scared. He believed that if his children stayed inside him, none of them could grow up and take his throne. One after another, they disappeared. Hestia. Demeter. Hera. Hades. Poseidon. Imagine Rhea watching every one of her babies vanish forever. She begged Cronus to stop. He refused. Power mattered more than family. By the time Rhea became pregnant again, she knew she had only one chance left. If she failed, her last child would disappear too. When Zeus was born, Rhea came up with a clever plan. Instead of handing over her baby, she wrapped a large stone in blankets. Cronus didn't even look. He swallowed the stone without asking a single question. Meanwhile, Zeus was secretly taken far away to the island of Crete. There, he grew up hidden from his father. Different versions of the myth tell the story a little differently. Some say magical goats fed Zeus. Others say mountain spirits protected him. One famous story says soldiers crashed their shields together every time baby Zeus cried, so Cronus would never hear the sound. Whether every detail is true doesn't really matter. The important part is this. For the first time, Cronus had failed. The child he feared was alive. And every day, that child grew stronger. As Zeus became an adult, he finally learned who he really was. His father had swallowed his brothers and sisters. His mother had spent years hiding him. His family had been torn apart because of one man's fear. Now Zeus had a choice. He could stay hidden forever. Or he could face the most powerful titan alive. He chose the second option. Not because victory was guaranteed. Because someone had to stop Cronus. Charging straight into battle would have been suicide. Zeus needed a smarter idea. With help from the Titaness Métis, known for her wisdom, Zeus prepared a special drink. He somehow convinced Cronus to swallow it. The drink worked almost immediately. Cronus couldn't keep anything down anymore. First came the stone. Then, one by one, his children came back out. Hestia. Demeter. Hera. Hades. Poseidon. Unlike normal people, gods didn't age while trapped inside Cronus. They emerged fully alive and ready to fight. Just like that, Zeus didn't have to fight alone anymore. He had an entire family standing beside him. But freeing them was only the beginning. The real war was about to start. The battle between the Olympians and the Titans became known as the Titanomachy. And it wasn't a quick fight. According to Greek mythology, the war lasted 10 long years. Imagine fighting every single day for an entire decade. Neither side could win. The Titans still had incredible strength. The younger gods had determination. But neither had enough. Until Zeus made another important decision. Deep beneath the earth were powerful beings that Cronus had ignored. The Cyclopes. And the hundred-handed ones. These creatures had once been imprisoned by Uranus and later left trapped by Cronus. Zeus set them free. Instead of treating them like monsters, he treated them like allies. That changed everything. The Cyclopes rewarded Zeus by forging his greatest weapon. The thunderbolt. Not just a bolt of lightning. The symbol of his power. They also created Poseidon's famous trident. And Hades received the helmet that made him invisible. Meanwhile, the hundred-handed ones entered the battle throwing massive rocks with all 100 of their arms. The balance of power had completely changed. Sometimes the strongest army isn't the biggest one. It's the one that knows how to make friends instead of enemies. With new weapons and powerful allies, Zeus finally pushed the Titans back. The battles shook the heavens. Mountains broke apart. The seas roared. The sky itself seemed ready to collapse. In the end, Cronus lost. The prophecy had come true. Just as he had overthrown Uranus, his own son overthrew him. The cycle had repeated itself. Or had it? This is where Zeus made the choice that separated him from his father. Cronus ruled through fear. Zeus wanted to rule differently. Instead of keeping all the power for himself, Zeus divided responsibilities among his brothers. Poseidon became ruler of the seas. Hades ruled the underworld. Zeus ruled the sky. Together, they formed a new order. The Olympian gods now stood at the top. The defeated Titans were imprisoned deep inside Tartarus, guarded by the hundred-handed ones. The age of the Titans had ended. The age of Olympus had begun. But here's something interesting. Even Zeus wasn't completely free from fear. Later myths tell us that Zeus also heard prophecies about children who might one day become stronger than him. And sometimes, he made harsh choices because of those warnings. Not nearly as terrible as swallowing his children. But enough to remind us that even the greatest king could never fully escape fear. So why did Zeus overthrow his own father? Most people think the answer is simple. Because he wanted power. But the myths suggest something much bigger. Cronus had turned the universe into a place ruled by fear. He feared losing power. He feared his children. He feared the future so much that he destroyed his own family trying to stop it. Zeus didn't start the fight because he wanted revenge alone. He fought because the world couldn't move forward while fear controlled everything. Without Zeus, his brothers and sisters would have stayed trapped forever. The Olympian gods would never have ruled. Many of the famous myths we know today, about Hercules, Perseus, Athena, Apollo, Artemis, and countless others, would never have happened. One decision changed the entire future of Greek mythology. That's what makes this story so powerful. It's not really about a son defeating his father. It's about what happens when fear controls a leader. The harder Cronus tried to stop the prophecy, the faster he made it come true. If he had trusted his children instead of trying to destroy them, history might have looked completely different. Instead, his fear became the very thing that caused his downfall. And maybe that's why this story has lasted for thousands of years. Because even today, people still make the same mistake. They try so hard to hold on to power, control, or success that they end up losing the very thing they're trying to protect. The myth of Zeus isn't just an old story about gods throwing lightning. It's a reminder that fear can build prisons, but courage can break them. Watch the next video to discover the shocking story of how Hades became ruler of the underworld instead of the king of Olympus.